This is a mini lesson analysis on Marth versus Puff. Probably shouldn't immediately like run off like that because that just put you within range of bear. You know, generally speaking, like just dropping down the platform and then C rather than like run off the platform. So this is what kind of happens a lot. Like when Puff does this, it feels like, you know, oh my god, they're camping and I can't do anything. This is a kind of high key a bait. Because first of all, what's a Puff getting doing this? Not very much, right? So in order for Puff to actually get something, at some point they need to approach. And generally the easiest way for Puff to get a hit is when you're W holding too. And this is accomplished when like they're camping and you're thinking like, oh my god, they're camping, so I'm just gonna go forward, and then they get their opportunity by you going forward. So don't be so easily baited when Puff camps. You know, you just have to, you know, bite your tongue, let them camp you, and then wait for the opportunity where they think they could find an opening by them doing an approach like this, and then play defensive. Like give up space, you know, jump back fairs, landing, you know, grabbing their landing, way dash back forward smash, whatever. But this is like how you probably lose to Puff, is like this kind of like broad thing. Because like, you know, see how like you're actually just like W holding now, and that's how Puff is getting all of her openings. So don't get so baited to W hold. Because like, yeah, like how Puff was able to get all of her openings was, you know, tricking you into thinking that she's only playing defensive. And then actually all the openings she got was you playing aggressive. And which you could beat by being defensive a bit. Also, do not do that. Like you should have at least like you should have dashed to the left, not to the right. There's no reason for you to try to cross up there. Also could have gone for a dare regrab. This is just Puff having really bad DI. If you build up good execution and you do the lowest dare regrab, then it's fine. Oh, should have went for a fair. You should have went for at least a Ken combo attempt there to actually kill. So like throw combos can be a bit optimized as well. Also, when Puff is going above you, you never really want to settle for her going above you. First of all, be on the side platform. Second of all, don't let her go above you, because that means like, you know, she kind of gets center for free. And she's not really super pressured. And you don't want to give her that control. Yeah, and again, you're kind of giving back her control, and you know, she's finding her opening. It's just fortunate that she didn't actually do her drill properly. She should have pounded. And yeah, again, you're like kind of just W holding. You know, the easiest way for Puff to get an opening on you is if you are playing aggressive. And like, you know, sometimes you do want to play aggressive, especially when, you know, as a whiff punish, especially when Puff is trying to maintain space in some way. But you don't only want to W hold. Yeah, and here I thought you did a good job, but it's a lot easier to beat this type of nair with like a forward smash, like a way dash back forward smash right in a grab here. Because like nair is very flexible of how she can drift, so it's hard to grab this in particular. So like you grab, but if you want to grab here, you have to read that it's possible for her to like, you know, drift back. Because sometimes you do want to grab because, you know, pivot forward smash is a thing. But if you want to simplify it and settle for less reward, you could just like forward smash. And yeah, learning how to pivot smash, not pivot smash, pivot forward smash, very much worth it. You could have, you know, gone to stock. And while I did say to play defensive, and you know, that, it might be one way to look at it. What I mean by playing defensive is you still want to be within range. You always want to like Marth as a character doesn't benefit really that much from like not interacting because like you don't have a projectile, and because you generally have better range than most of your opponents, you you he just gets more always threatening. Like you don't have to commit off of your threats, but you should always threaten. Also, never try fighting Puff like that. When you are at a frame disadvantage and fighting, bad things generally happen. You generally want to wave land on the side platform instead and like try to maneuver around a bad position rather than trying to fight from it. Which again, you're kind of just like W holding. And you didn't really get out of the way for the drill. Could have up tilted, could have moved out of the way. And yeah, I mean, things would be a lot more simplified if you were on the top platform. Also, like, drill shouldn't do anything until, like, you know, you're like 60, I want to say. So you could always up B even if you get hit. You know, of course, up B here, you know, where, you know, up B out of the direction where she could get hit. Oh, could have side B'd. Nah, you're probably gonna die now. Like, could have dash back side B'd, but then you don't hold your shield, and you're eating a lot more damage than you probably should. Yeah, and then again, you're trying to attack when Puff is approaching. Yeah, it's a shame. And yeah, again, you're kind of just like running at her. And then you do the whiff punish, which is like, you know, how this matchup should look like. Is that like you're basically whiff punishing a lot of Puff's approaches, but instead you're kind of just like mindlessly W holding. Also, that shouldn't have happened. You could have definitely like don't DI that hard to the left. Like you could have like done a slight DI, and even then I think you could have double jumped out of that, but you don't have to DI to the platform. It's always better to like, you know, do some kind of slight DI away and then like double jump. So then like this is never a thing for Puff. So overall, the biggest thing by far is that I think you just got baited into thinking that the Puff's just gonna camp you. So you're like, all right, I'm gonna play aggressive. But then as you were moving forward, that's when the Puff intercepts you. And when the Puff is moving forward, then you want to try to find ways to efficiently whiff punish her, like you were doing in some other interactions, but you want to do that consistently, even in timings where it's like, oh, I think she's gonna camp. No, she could always switch it up and attack.